Hello everyone. I am just gonna wait a second, classic, so somebody can hop on. I bet you $500 my volume won't work. I'll have to redo the video. It'll just be a thing. So I am gonna wait for just one moment. I know we all love to do that, right? Hi guys, I see some people on. Hello. There's so many people on. Thanks, Taylor. I'm getting some likes and some hearts. So that means you guys can hear me, which if my team all knows, when I go live, it's like, it's not a thing. Like I always have to restart. Hey guys, so many of you popping on. Yay, I'm so excited to talk to you guys today. Holy moly, still got a lot of people rolling in. Hoping everybody is healthy and happy and staying safe. It's a crazy world out there right now, so I'm hoping everybody is staying healthy. All right, I guess I'm just gonna dive right on in. Okay, so hi, I'm Ashley James. Just a little bit about me really quickly. This is a really short and sweet training. So I'm gonna get really right to it, but just a little bit about me. I am Ashley James. I'm 26 years old. I'm from Maine. I have a super squirrel brain and I could talk, like my team is like, oh my God, like my team calls are so long. I could talk forever. So I do have notes up. And so if I'm looking up, I'm looking at my notes because you guys don't want to hear me talk all day. So that's just another squirrel brain. Here I am. I am 26. I'm from Maine. I have been coaching since 2016. I'm actually coming up on my 4-year coach anniversary here next month. I'm like, what month is it? It's April right now. So May. Throughout my business throughout the last 4 years and currently I have worked full-time. So I work full-time as a behavior analyst working with children in the public school setting with autism and other related cognitive disorders. So I work in special education, have ever since I started coaching. What else about me? My husband is a police officer, so I'm a Leo. I am a dog mom of 3. What else? I think that's it. So that's just a little bit about me. I have been coaching for 4 years. Beachbody and coaching has completely changed my freaking life. And my favorite thing ever is talking to newer coaches and, veteran coaches, whatever, talking to coaches and kind of just giving them the light and the power to go out there and change some freaking lives. So I'm really honored that I was asked to talk today on the Beachbody Champions page. It's kind of a surreal moment. So with that being said, I'm really just going to dive in. My topic today is managing effective and engaging challenge groups that work for you. So quick little note, here I am, squirrel brain. Before I get started, I really am hoping this training makes sense and that it goes in the right order. I have been experiencing some medical issues and I actually was just put on a medication 2 days ago that affects my cognitive processing. And so I'm like writing up this training, my notes for this training and I'm like, oh my God, this could go haywire. So if this doesn't make sense and if it's not in order, just pretend and give me some love anyway, just like shout me out. I'm really gonna try, I should be fine, but I'm gonna try to make it like, I'm gonna focus and I'm gonna make it so it makes sense. But if it doesn't go in order, I promise you the tangible tips will still work as long as it's just in your brain and not, maybe it won't be in order. But if I like get all off on a tangent or things don't make sense, that is why, okay? So let's dive in. So first and foremost, I think that every coach can benefit from every training on this page because we're always learning, right? Coaches who've been coaching for 4 years, coaches who've been coaching for 10 years, coaches who've been coaching for 2 weeks. I think we can all benefit from all of the trainings, right? But I think that this specific training and, who I'm really going to talk to, right? Just like our social media as coaches, we really want to talk to specific people. I'm talking to everybody here, but I think that my main focus is to target a little bit of newer coaches or coaches who are really looking to revamp their challenge group systems. So I'm going to be kind of talking to those coaches, even though, like I said, I think every coach can really benefit from learning about how other people do run groups and do their business and whatever. And that's the beauty of this business. So let me just say this. New coach Ashley 4 years ago was so stressed about running effective challenge groups because, guys, we know that this business is about helping people. It's about serving people. It's about holding people accountable and helping them get results, right? So obviously challenge groups are our bread and butter. It's so important to our business. So when I was a new coach, I got so stressed out about running the most perfect, engaging groups ever. And you know what, guys? If I'm being completely honest, and give me some hearts and some love if you have ever been there, when I was a new coach, I had like one person engaging in my challenge group. Like you have a group of 10 girls and you're so ready. You're like, yes, my first challenge group. And I had like 2 people engaging, and it got me so frustrated. And I was so stressed out, like, what can I do? You look around the network and you see all of these amazing freaking coaches running amazing freaking challenge groups. And when I was a new coach, I let it like get my mindset down, right? I let it affect me so much that I wasn't getting my girls engaged, and I wasn't, doing XYZ. And I was so stressed about, running perfect challenge groups. And I was so stressed about, making sure it was perfect so that every single human being on planet Earth would show up in my group. And so my first like tip is to not compare yourself. And this sounds so cliche, but don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. So don't compare, if you are on social media scrolling and another coach in the network is showing their challenge group on social media and they have 500 people checking into their group and you have 20 people checking into your group, first and foremost, do not let that hinder you. Do not let that hold you back. That means nothing, right? And that's what I did, and I don't want you to make that mistake. Don't get stressed, don't get down, okay? Don't compare your challenge group to anybody else's challenge group. It's your challenge group for a reason, okay? So I'm going to give you 2 tips, and then I'm going to kind of break it down to some tangibles, and kind of talk about what I do for my challenge groups, if that makes sense. So my first tip is remembering why, I just said my first tip was don't compare yourself. But my next tip is remembering why we're coaches, guys. Like, challenge groups is what we do. You need to remember why you are a coach. We are coaches to show people the light, to help them stay accountable, to get results, XYZ, right? It's our job to check in. It's our job to provide those resources and provide that support and provide those check-ins every day. It's our job. We do not sign people up and then never talk to them again. We support them. We give them the resources. We give them the tools in their toolbox to fill that toolbox so that they can get results with this program and fall in love with what they're doing, right? And be their best selves. So don't ever, ever, ever lose sight. When I'm going to be talking about managing effective challenge groups that work for you, do not ever, ever lose sight of that, right? That, regardless of anything else, how you set your challenge group up, XYZ, whatever, the most important thing about running an effective challenge group is that your eye is on the prize, and that's to support your clients, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2 is something that I really want to focus this training on is you got to figure out what works for you, okay? It may take time, but it's crucial to figure out what works for you. I spent a lot of time trying to change up everything in my challenge groups to make it the most engaging and the most effective. And I tried all the things, guys. And what works for somebody else may not work for you, okay? So this is going back to not comparing yourself to other people's challenge groups. There are such amazing coaches out there that run challenge groups that are like gold, right? And I've like listened to all the trainings. I've gathered all the pieces, I've implemented them, I've tried my best, and some things just didn't work for me. And I had to be okay with that. So as a new coach, I want you to hear me when I say you need to find your own groove, right? So remember back to that first tip, whatever you're doing, you want to make them the best and the most engaging, whatever, you need to make them work for you. But also, what's the prize, guys? Eye on the prize is that you are connecting and supporting your clients, period. Okay? So you have to find what works for you. And that's really when my challenge groups took off. It was funny when I was asked to talk about this topic because challenge groups, honestly, up until a year and a half ago, were kind of not my strongest suit because I was caught up in all the other things and changing a bunch of things and doing all the specialties. And I wasn't good at it. And it wasn't me. And it wasn't authentically me, right? And I wasn't finding my own groove. So when I did find my own groove, and I'll tell you what I do for my challenge groups and what works for me, that's when I had the most engagement. And now my challenge groups are like the best that they've ever been in 4 years because number one, focused. I stopped comparing my groups to everybody else. I focused. I had my eye on the prize, which was providing support and resources to my girls. And I also literally put my blinders on and said, Ash, you need to do what works for you and your people, right? The people that are in Sally's challenge group are different than the people in my challenge group. The people in my challenge group want me to be their coach, authentically me. So I really challenge you to reflect on that. How are you running your challenge groups? Are you running them as authentically you, or are you not? Because when I flipped that switch, I really saw a huge engagement boost of all of my challengers. And now, like I said, I love my freaking challenge groups, but it was just such a funny moment when, they asked me to speak on challenge groups because, just up until a year and a half ago, it wasn't my strongest suit. Okay. So it takes time. Take the pressure off of yourself, be patient, do a little bit of trial and error, but you got to try, right? You got to try the things and find your own groove. Okay. I hope that makes sense. So next I need water, and then I'm going to dive into some tangibles and my duplicatable system that works for me, right? Okay, 1 second. I need water. Everyone makes fun of this cup because it's like the size of my head. Okay, so that's just like my soapbox for a hot moment. Now I'm going to quickly run through what works for me. So this might be different from what your upline says. It may be different from what you do. It may be the same, and you may be like, oh, I already do this. Thanks for the info, Ash, right? Regardless of where you're at, just know that you don't need to go and flip your business upside down if you listen to a training and there's something new, right? Making sure that you are adjusting things small by small step, right? I don't want you to hear this and be like, oh, I'm doing everything wrong. Change my whole challenge group because we just talked about that, right? Not everything works the same for everybody. So I hope when I explain what I do, you learn something and may be able to implement a few things. But I hope what I said before really resonates with somebody because I really needed to hear that as a newer coach or somebody that needed to revamp challenge groups. So this is what works for me. I do not run monthly challenge groups. I do not run a February challenge group, or I don't run a set day to a set day challenge group for February, say. My challenge group is completely ongoing. So I run an ongoing group that people are added to whenever, right? I do have a strategic business plan where I know when I'm signing people up, in my head in the month, so I can hit my goals and all of those things. But to, other people, my group is ongoing and they can join whenever they want. There's no set date. The cover photo changes and the theme or the focus changes sometimes just to spice that up. But it's an ongoing group. I also don't overturn people, or this sounds really bad because I don't think that people do this, kick people out, but I don't kick people out or remove people from my challenge group. I was always so stressed, and I want to ensure that my eye is on the prize. That's the theme, right? My eye is on the prize, which means I know and I can check mark that I am providing support and resources to all my clients at all times, no matter where they are in their journey, whether they fell off the wagon and came back, whatever. So I was always stressed out about that. So I just eliminated that issue, and I don't take people out of my group. So they're ongoing groups. They run all the time. They are in there for life until they remove themselves if they want to. Hopefully that's not the case. And even if they fall off the wagon, they can come back. Also, I find it really helpful for people that are struggling or that signed up, crushed it for 3 months, are falling off the wagon, but they're still seeing those other people jump in every single day. I really think it creates a high like turnover rate of like falling off the wagon. Oh, I'm back on because I saw somebody, you know, post about beach bars or post about Energize, and I really wanted to get back on the wagon. So that's how I run my challenge groups. And whenever I tell people that, they're like, okay, so you run an ongoing group, but how do you do prep week? So a lot of people who run monthly challenge groups, they run 3-week challenge groups, and they have like a week before where they do like a prep week, right? So my prep week is actually all in the units. So I turned I turned my page into a learning page. And so I have units in my Facebook page where I have like a getting started right guide. I have a unit for expectations and rules of the group, what happens in the group, how to navigate the group. And then I have my personal kickoff call, my welcome video, face-to-face interaction with my new clients right there. So I send them a welcome email that says like, here's your group, like here's the link, here's all the things. So they click the group, they click that link, they go in the group, they click the units, they see my welcome video. I also have a unit on navigating Beachbody on demand and picking a program, how to find like the meal plans, going through the program materials. I also have a whole unit on meal plan support. So I made a YouTube video of me explaining the container system. I have a ton of, meal plan supports. I have recipes, and I have, my biggest tips for nutrition and my Shakeology stuff all in there, right? I also have like the end of the unit has transformations and testimonials from past clients, and also a letter from me that is kind of like a kick in the ASS if they are ever feeling down and need like a little boost. So that is all in there. My prep week is right all in. Like I wanted to create a duplicatable system for myself so that I don't even have to question, right? So I know that when I sign somebody up, I immediately send them the welcome email that has it's a big email. It's like, yeah, girl, like we did it. You did it. So proud. Love you. XYZ. Here's all my contact info. Here's the group. Text me right when your package arrives. We'll pick a program XYZ. But then they have the resources in their hands. They go to the units. They have everything they need. Okay. So what they do in the group is that when they go through all that, they pick their program, they flood the wall with post-workout selfie. So that's how they check in. Everyone's posting to the Facebook page after their workouts, XYZ. I also post daily check-ins, right? I post daily check-ins every single day with little graphics and like a reflection post. It's like motivations, biggest tips, all of that good stuff. And those obviously rotate throughout the months. But what I do to make it work for me, because I work full time and I have all the other things, right? The Sunday before a month starts, I schedule all of my posts out. So I create and schedule all of them out. And that's how it works for me. So it just kind of takes out that having to like come up with like a valuable post that day. I always know that I have great content in my challenge groups because it's already scheduled. I don't have to do it on the fly. So I have that. I also provide other resources in there, like I post a pre-made weekly meal plan to the top of the page every single week. So they have that. I offer Zoom workouts. So me and a lot of my leaders post Zoom workouts right in the team page, in my accountability group, saying like, hey, if anybody needs some accountability, I'm working out at 9 a.m. Like, here's the link, let's hop on, to create that atmosphere and those relationships. What else do I do? I also do Challenger of the Month to keep people engaged. So whoever checks in the most or somebody who really stands out to me, I'm shouting them out and I'm giving them, I'm rewarding them with a gift. So those are just the types of things that I do to keep the energy alive in there. But honestly, guys, the common theme is that I'm providing value, resources, and support the way that works for me, right? So there's a ton of ways to do challenge groups, but that's what works for me. I know that I have a duplicatable system. I know without a doubt that I am giving my clients everything that they need. And I don't have to stress about it, right? I don't have to stress about it. I know, right? I know that I have given all of the resources. I know that I'm checking in with them every single day. I also do a weekly one-to-one client email. So they're getting me in their inbox every week. And it was just a really long road to figure this out, guys, but it's so worth it because my challenge groups are super engaging now. And I have people checking in consistently every single day, right? And I feel like the bond and the relationship in the group is stronger than ever. The cool thing about this is that I saw somebody asked, I never look at the chat, and I just did, and somebody asked a really good question. And it is about about BOD groups. So I have done the training on BOD groups. I still have a few things to figure out in terms of what's going to work for me utilizing BOD groups. BOD groups is freaking amazing. If you haven't watched the training, go do that. But I think it's all going to work pretty much the same. And if I have to combine my units into the information of my units on my Girl Gang page, I can just maybe transfer that into a PDF, and that will still get to them via email. But BOD groups is this system will work with BOD groups as well, which is why I love it so much. It's really duplicatable and really malleable, so I can use it any way I want. But that's what works for me. I hope this was helpful to somebody. I hope you learned something. Just remember, guys, this business is about being the light. So that means being the best you, providing value and support to your clients and your people, and the rest will fall into place. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Don't compare your challenge group to anybody else. Trial and error. You gotta try, you gotta do things and fail and learn. And once you find your groove, I promise you your challenge groups will be way more engaging. But the common theme is providing value, resources, and support consistently across the board, and providing that duplicatable system for your team so your entire downline will reap the benefits of getting those clients engaged. So that was a lot of talking, and I talk really fast, and I hope this made sense. But I really do believe that your bread and butter is your challenge groups for your business, but you have to make sure that you're doing it the way that works for you. And for me, that was creating a duplicatable system that I could just use over and over again. And that I knew 150% without a doubt that my people are getting the resources that they need, and that I am making contact with them multiple times, right? They always stay in my challenge group. They never leave. And I know some people do it differently, and that's beautiful too. That works for them. So their challenge groups are bomb too, right? It's just about that trial and error piece. So with that being said, I hope that I was able to bring light or, teach you something about challenge groups, and managing effective, engaging challenge groups while making it work for you guys, because that's really what it's all about, providing that support and making it work for you. All right, I hope this was helpful, and I will talk to you guys so soon. If you have questions, always message me. You can comment here below, and just make sure to tag me, because I won't get notifications or they'll get really lost. So tag me or Ashley James on Facebook, Ashley Ference James on Instagram, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. But I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye, guys.